All right, well, welcome to today's webinar, Getting Started with Text SMS Marketing in Constant Contact. And thanks again for joining us. These days, pretty much everyone has a smartphone with them at all times. I'm sure all of you, your phone might even be in arm's length right now. So that's really a valuable opportunity for businesses to connect with their customers in a number of ways. Social media, email, and text messages as well, or what we refer to as SMS. Each of these marketing channels has unique aspects that make it worthy of having it in your marketing toolbox. Social media allows you to reach new people, but sometimes you run up against the algorithms that limit your reach. Email marketing gives you ownership of your audience and you can reach them on your terms, but you do have to compete for your readers' attention against competitors in the inbox. And then texts are personal and immediate. When someone receives a text, they look at it right away, usually. But with that, you do have to be careful not to abuse that connection or you'll turn people off. In the end, it's really the businesses and organizations that reach their customers in the channels they prefer that are the most successful. And the businesses that figure out how to use these channels together in a way that enhances the customer experience are really going to get the most from them. These are the businesses and organizations that send the right message to the right people at the right time in the right channels. We want to provide you with easy to use tools, guidance, and insights all in one place that allow you to communicate with your customers so that you build relationships that matter most to your bottom line. And just a few stats I want to share with you. When it comes to text marketing, we know that 91% of consumers are interested in signing up for text messages. And a cross-channel approach can boost companies' average user lifetime by 76%, meaning they're with you longer. According to our recent Small Business Now report, emails and texts from small businesses are the two most helpful communications to consumers when they're making a purchase decision. So with all that in mind, let's take a look at our agenda to see more specifically what we're going to take a look at and cover today. First, we're going to go over getting creative with text marketing for your business or nonprofit. So this is where I'll share a lot of ideas of how to use text marketing for various industries, just to help spark some ideas for yourself. We'll also talk about how to grow your list to grow your business. And then, of course, we will take a look at how to create text messages in Constant Contact. And before we fully dive into everything, I just want to introduce myself again. My name's Caitlin, and I'm a manager in the Professional Services Department here at Constant Contact. I've been at the company about 9 years and was super excited when SMS was added to our products because customers have been asking for it for years and it really is a valuable tool. So I love talking about it, love showing people how to use it. And like I said, behind the scenes, we also have Trev and Dominique who are joining us as well to help in chat. They both have been at the company for a while and are happy to give you any information that you're looking for. All right, well, let's go ahead and get started and talk about getting creative with text marketing. And first, let's think about how text should work in your overall marketing strategy. All the different channels have their own strengths for when you want to use them and what you want to send. Text marketing is another channel to add to your marketing mix. And it's not about using text or email marketing or social media. It's really about using them all together. When you combine texting with email and social media, you offer options for your customers to connect with you in the channels they prefer. And while you want to use them all together, you will likely find that people will respond differently in every channel. There are times when using one channel over the other is more appropriate and times when they can be used together. With social media, you want to use this when you're wanting to get beyond your email and text list. You're looking to increase engagement so you reach a new audience and you are doing it publicly. For email marketing, you want to use this when you need to reach your audience directly. Also, when you have a more robust message to share with images and formatting, and when you want to provide more detail. Text marketing is great to use when you have something that's time sensitive, offers something exclusive, and can be handled with a short message. You also want to think of ways you can use these channels together to support a campaign. For example, you can start a conversation about a particular topic on social to stimulate engagement, then discuss that topic in more detail in email, and then you could call attention to something pressing related to the campaign in a text message. This way, you use the strengths of each channel to provide a unique experience for your audience, giving you more opportunities to keep your business top of mind and ultimately drive more engagement and sales. Let's talk about some tips to keep your text marketing on track. So first of all, in all of your messages, you want to identify yourself. Make sure you're using a name that's recognizable to your subscribers for your business, because otherwise they may not recognize the phone number or the business. It is also important to stay timely and relevant, which is great for keeping people updated on current events or happenings. Like if you have a big snowstorm roll through, which happens a lot here in Colorado, where we're located, and if you have to close for the day because of that storm, text message is perfect for that. You also want to be consistent, so try to send out at least once a month. And this is also the channel where you have to be concise. You only have 160 characters, including spaces, to get your message across here. A few other quick tips here are be exclusive. You want to offer something in this channel that you can't get other places. They need a reason to sign up and receive your text messages. Make sure to bring value. There's a really good example of that here on the screen. In this case, it's from a salon and they're just sending out hairstyle ideas. So it doesn't always have to be a promotional type message. Be personal, use their name, and also make it conversational. Make it feel like you're talking directly to them. When it comes to incorporating text into your marketing strategy, one thing you may be wondering is just what types of messages should I send using text messaging? So let's talk about a few ideas to get you started with that. First, remember that you want a reason for people to receive your text messages, so you want to send something valuable here. One idea is to send your text subscribers exclusive access to new releases of your products so that they can be the first to hear about a new product. Or you could send special access to buy products or services before your other customers. You could send reminders about sales, invitations and reminders to your events, and even a message that reminds them shortly before an event starts. And it's always a good idea to ask for a review online or feedback. You could link to a survey or a review on your Google business profile. Let's take a look now at some examples of more ways different businesses or organizations might use text. So let's take a look at retail businesses. If you're in that retail world, something you could do is send sales or information on coupons and discounts. When you connect to your e-commerce tool, like Shopify, you can send abandoned cart reminders, thank you messages, messages sent to certain people to win them back, and more. You can also think about sending product release messages or when something comes back in stock. Or even send a request for a review after a purchase. Another idea would be to build anticipation for new and seasonal products. Lots of opportunities for you there. For those of you in the real estate world, you could use text to send information on new listings, invitations and information for open houses, or price change alerts on properties. You could also do things like invitations and reminders for client appreciation events, status change alerts when something is sold or goes under contract, or a client review feedback request. All of this is really just going back to the idea that relationship building is very important for you. Text is great for nonprofits as well. Some examples include sending messages about volunteer opportunities, fundraising events, and event reminders, announcements, and even a thank you message. Some other examples you could think of are alerting members to important email or newsletter updates, alerts or notifications about your cause, and even depending on the nature of your nonprofit, maybe other messages would make sense as well if they're helpful and support your cause, like sending out an inspirational message or reminders about healthy habits, drink water, work out, meditate, things like that. And of course, those of you in the B2B or business to business world can use text as well. Some examples for that could be an event or training announcement or reminder, which could be a reminder to schedule a consultation or a review. If you're a business who does a call to review results and services regularly, that's something text is good for. And announce a new service. And of course, asking for reviews is great for your industry as well. All right, so now that you know about some of those best practices and ideas of content and ways to use text messaging, let's move on to how to actually get people on your text list. Just like with email marketing, there are laws and regulations around text marketing. The good news is that Constant Contact makes it really easy for you to get permission and provide the necessary information to stay compliant. So just one thing you need to remember is, yes, these people do need to opt in to receiving your text communications. Just because you have a phone number for someone, you can't just add them to the list. You do need to have permission to text them. And just some strategy behind list growth here. When it comes to getting people on your list, it is helpful to know the three main reasons why people might subscribe. They may want to sign up to receive promotions and discounts, exclusive content like an ebook, a guide, a list of tips to do something, or they'll join simply to show support for your business or organization. So when you're asking for their permission or when you're creating a form in Constant Contact, you want to note that right on the form so it's clear what the value is for them. Aside from that, there's a few other best practices you'll want to keep in mind when growing your list. The first being set clear expectations. Let them know what's in it for them and make sure they know upfront how many messages you'll be sending, how to opt out, and you do need to include the necessary disclaimers, which are a privacy policy and a terms of service. For more information on these policies, or if you need a terms of service, if you don't have one yet, in that handout I mentioned earlier on the right side of your screen, there's actually an FAQ that has some information on what you need to include in those disclaimers and even a little example of a terms of service you can create if you need that. So all of these requirements can be accomplished with the Constant Contact lead generation landing page. This is a standalone web page you can create to collect signups for both email and SMS texting. The required disclaimers and links to the terms of service and privacy policy are automatically included. So you're covered and completely compliant there. It's also a good idea to invite your email subscribers to join your text marketing list. You can just create an email and write a message that entices people to subscribe and link your button to the landing page you create. Just remember to let them know the value of being on your email list within your email. A little later, I will show you how to create that landing page I just mentioned and how to create an email template to send out for the subscription. So hang tight. I'll show you how to actually do that piece here in a minute. But once someone fills out that form, there's a few things that happen. First, they'll receive the confirm opt-in text that says, "Thanks for your interest," and it asks them to reply yes to subscribe. Once the person says yes, then they receive this text message that confirms that they're signed up with how many messages they'll receive. If someone wants to unsubscribe, they can text the word stop. And if they need help, they just text the word help, and they'll receive a message automatically that has your website and a phone number to call to receive help. Once your subscriber completes this process, they'll have given express consent to text them, and their phone number will then become an active part of your list. Until they've completed this process, they won't be able to receive your text messages because that permission is required by law. All right, so let's move on and show you how to create text messages in Constant Contact. There's actually a few demos I'm going to take you through. First, we're going to take a look at a quick video that shows you the registration process for setting up the SMS in your account. Then we'll go into a live demo to show you how to create that landing page I just mentioned. And I will actually show you how to upload a list of SMS phone numbers as well. Then we'll do a live demo that shows you how to send the text messages. And lastly, we'll take a quick look at the reporting you get back as well. So first up, because the registration process can take up to 24 hours, I'm going to show just a little video for that part since we don't have 24 hours to wait right now. So I'm going to play that right now, and my colleague will put a link in the chat if you're not hearing it or seeing it, but otherwise, let me pull that up and I'll be back here in a second.
In this short video, we'll show you how to set up SMS. To begin, click the name in the upper right of your account and then click My Account. Click the SMS tab and then click the Get Started button. Here you can see a little overview of what you need to do before you send your first text message. Most importantly, you should update your privacy policy and terms and conditions on your website to include important verbiage around SMS communications. For example, how many text messages customers can expect to receive from you. Once you've done that, click Continue. Fill out your organization's name and address exactly as they are registered with the state where you operate. Registrations are checked by our SMS messaging provider against official databases, and if the information you entered doesn't match, it can result in your registration being rejected. Then click Continue. Next, fill out your sender information. The default sender name is what your contacts will see in your text messages. It's best that your sender name is kept short but recognizable. You won't be able to change this after registering, so be sure to set it correctly. Next, you need to set your promotional sender frequency. This is the maximum number of messages a contact is expected to receive in a month. Make sure this number matches your terms and conditions. Next, include links to your terms and conditions and privacy policies here. When you're finished, click Continue. Read the summary of our terms and conditions and then click the checkbox here to confirm that you have read and agree to them. Then click Accept. Your registration has now been submitted and can take up to 24 hours to be approved. Once your registration is approved, you can begin creating SMS communications. While you
All right, so just a few things to reiterate from that. First, make sure when you're registering that you're using the exact business name that's on your tax form. So just be sure to grab a recent tax form and find your EIN or employer identification number to ensure the name you register with matches, or the registration might be declined. You do have to register with your legal company name exactly and your legal company address. For example, when I set up this account here, I had to register our account under Constant Contact Inc. rather than just Constant Contact, because that was the legal business name there. Now, if your legal business name is different than the name you advertise under, you can have a different sender name. So that way your messages are recognizable as coming from the name that you use. The other thing to remember is the process does take up to 24 hours, so give yourself a little bit of time for that part of things. It goes through a third party, which needs to confirm that the business is legitimate based on that tax information. So you won't be able to actually use the tool until that all goes through. And just one other note, the information you register with cannot be changed after. So just when filling everything out, the sender name, number of messages you'll be sending, website information, make sure that's all correct before submitting it. And so it does have you indicate the number of messages you're planning to send. That's just required for the disclaimers, so you're not stuck sending that many each month, but just choose a number that's close to what you're planning on sending and what's in your terms of service. So once you have all that set up and approved in your Constant Contact account, then you can start using all of these awesome features. So let me dive into an account and just show you all those different things here. And I'm going to start by showing you how to create that lead generation landing page I mentioned earlier. In order to send messages to your audience, first, you have to have them opt in and build that list. So to create this landing page here, you will click here on Create in the top right of the account, or you can start on Campaigns and click Create. It'll also be there. Basically just to get into our campaign picker here. And it is under landing pages. And the one we want is the lead generation landing page. You can actually also access that from the sign up forms tab as well. I'm going to actually pull up one I started creating just to save us a little bit of time here. So I'm making one here for Jack's Backyard Barbecue restaurant. And I mostly just want to show you how to incorporate this SMS information into the form. So I've already created the colors, the logo, the text, that exclusive offer. And what I need to do now is come over here to the left. This is where you edit everything. And go to the contact fields. And let me actually pull up a different one because this one doesn't have it. This is an older one. So let me actually show you how to do one from scratch. That way you can see the first few steps as well. All right, so create landing page, lead generation. So once again, you want to have your branding, choose colors from your website, choose a logo. Keep in mind those best practices I had talked about offering something valuable, coupon, discount, valuable content. And then to incorporate the SMS information, like I said, it's here on the left under contact fields. The box usually is actually checked for you by default, just make it easy. But if it isn't, you would just come here on the left, check the box for SMS marketing opt-in and any other fields you want to ask for. Usually first name and last name and email address is required, but it's nice to have their names as well. And then it adds it to the form here. What they'll see actually is this will be unchecked for them. So they would type in their email address and say, oh, I want to get text messages. Check that box, type in their mobile phone number here. And then this is what's cool. Automatically, it put in that disclaimer text that's required by law. So it's all in there. The links are the links that you had added during the registration process for the terms and conditions and privacy policy. If you need to change that part, you can actually go over here on the left side to look at your settings. So let me click on settings. So most of it can't be changed, like I had said earlier, but if you scroll down, the terms and conditions and privacy policy can be updated. So you can either just add in a link, or you can even click on this document option and upload a file. Like if you have a Word document or a PDF with the terms and conditions or privacy policy, that works as well. But because you have that all set up, it just fills in here, and then you're good to go with that. So I would go through and come to this lead generation landing page. I'm not going to fill this all out to save time, but this is where you go through and customize everything. You do have to choose in the settings the list that they're being saved to. So you can create a new list or choose a list. Let's create a new list. This is going to be the list in your contacts. I'll show you this here in a minute, but this is where your SMS and email contacts are saved. So I'm going to call this SMS list. Let's put today's date so we know exactly which one this is. And I'll save that. So let's say this is all filled out now. It looks nice and I'm done and ready to use this. Then I would click activate here in the top right. And now I can share this out to people to get them to sign up. So there's different places you could share this to collect those signups. One way is to post it on social media. And you could just create a post, saying, hey, join our text club and receive exclusive product announcements. To share it to social media, you can actually do that through Constant Contacts. You'll click this share button here in the top right, and share on social is right there. You will see also it gives you this landing page URL, this link right here. So you could put that link anywhere. One thing that works really well is find a QR code generator online and then copy and paste that into a QR code generator. Get your little QR code and then print that out, put it on business cards, flyers. If you're a restaurant, put it on the little table tents. You can share it that way as well, so people can pull it up on their phones and sign up that way. So then once they have filled out the form and signed up, I mentioned this a little earlier, but they get that text that says, thanks for signing up. Please confirm your subscription. They text back with the word yes. Then they get one more text back to them automatically that has the required disclosures and the help and stop options. Those messages are generated automatically They can't be customized, but you don't have to set anything up on that side of things. Those will just send out automatically. Now, once you get those signups, they are added into your account. So let me come back up to campaigns. There's a couple places we can look. First of all, let me pull up a landing page I've created and published previously so you can see what it looks like. So this is one I created that got 2 signups. So if I just click into it from my campaigns page here, we'll just wait for it to load up. But basically I get some reporting, some data on how many people signed up. And so this is especially what I'm interested in, the number subscribed to SMS. I got 2. You can also see it down here, contacts subscribed to SMS. You can even click on that number too and see who they were. Now, if you want to pull up your list of contacts, you can definitely do that here at the top from the contacts page. Let me click over to that. And let me show you what this looks like here. So when I'm looking at my lists in my contacts, you'll see it breaks it down for me. So here's all the lists in my account. We have quite a few actually. Then it'll tell me the total number of contacts in that list, the ones that have email addresses only, and then the ones that have an email address and an SMS subscribed phone number. Now, as you can see, you can't have contacts without an email address. So your contact either would be just an email address contact that you're using for your email marketing, or you can then have your contacts that have email addresses and SMS phone numbers, which is great because then you can text or email them, or a combination of the two. So the one from that sign up form was this text subscribers list. So there were 2 total. None are email only, both are email with SMS. Now, if I want to click on that, there's the list there. Let me click into one of the contacts and you can see what it looks like. So this is just all the information they filled out. There's the phone number. This one actually, we're waiting, SMS awaiting confirmation. They haven't replied yet with that yes text message. So they are in this awaiting confirmation status. So I can't actually send them a text until they confirm this subscription. If they lost that text, deleted it by accident, all they have to do is sign up through the lead generation landing page again, and they'll get the text. They reply with the word yes, and then they'll be confirmed up here, and I know I will be able to text them. All right, so on the topic of contacts, if you already have an existing list of SMS contacts, specifically from another SMS provider is kind of the use case for this situation in most cases, you can upload that list of phone numbers then so that they don't have to go through and sign up since they've already given you permission. And you would upload that through a spreadsheet. In order to do that, you would click back here, click on this contacts subtab, then come up here, click add contacts, upload from file. And by the way, we are sending a recording of this webinar out after the fact. I know I'm covering a lot right now. So if there's any parts you need to rewatch, you will get an email later with the recording. Also, that handout is a great resource. All right, so the spreadsheet, let me actually show you one that I'm going to use here. So you want to have your contacts kind of just set up like this in all the different information in separate columns. You do have to have an email address. You need to have their phone number, of course. And then the other thing that's required is an SMS consent date. So this would be the date that they gave you written permission to text them. So this is, you'd pull that from your previous SMS provider, or if they've given you written permission in a different method, you would choose the date they gave you that permission. And it does have to be in this format. So the 4 digits of the year, dash month, dash day. And then any other information you want to include, you can. It's nice to have their names. You can actually have their name fill into the text message. I'll show you that in a minute. And just whatever other information you want. And then I would come here, browse my computer, and let's find that file. And then what it does is it shows the first 5 rows in that file, and I just need to go through and label each column. The system does try to match it up for you, which is nice, and it did match up all the columns. One thing to note with the SMS number, you do have to choose this field, SMS number. If you choose phone mobile, that will not connect to the SMS tool. That's just saving their phone number under their contact information. So you need SMS number specifically, and then SMS consent date specifically. If you don't have that, you'll probably get an error message. So just wanted to make that clear. But then I'll click continue. This is just confirming the permission. I have permission to email and text them. And then you also have to confirm that here. We just want to make sure you're following all the rules with that. Then we'll choose the list to save them to. Let's do that one I created earlier. There we go. You can have them on multiple lists if you want to do some segmentation. And then I click upload. And we are good to go. They are all added in here, or they will be once this loads. All right, so they are in our account and ready to be texted. So if you're still looking to obtain that permission, but you do have their email address, you can send an email with the lead generation landing page and have them sign up that way. I do want to show you a template we have in our template picker for that specific purpose to make it really easy for you. So if you come up here to campaigns at the top, and just click here on create and email. Let's click into that. All right, so then this is bringing up all our templates, and I'm going to search for one here. Just going to type in SMS. That should bring it up for us. It's this one right here. So let's just preview that real quick. So it's a really quick and simple template. You just put in your logo. You could replace this picture or even leave it, add the text, and then you just link this button to the landing page and send that out. So then I actually created a template using this template. So let me show you how to link up that button because that's the important part there. So I'm going to click back on campaigns. And I have a draft that I started here, clicking into that one. So like I said, I used that exact template and I just added my own colors, logo, some text. And all I need to do is link the button. So you can see what this is looking like here. So I just click on the button. We get our little menu that comes up. I click on link, and it actually gives me the option to link to a landing page. So I don't even need to go find that URL from before. I just click landing page, choose that one I created, insert. That's it. I have linked it up. So I have my exclusive offer. I have everything else set up. So I just send this to a list of my email subscribers, ask them to sign up. And then when they click that and fill out the form, they'll be on the list to get the text messages. All right, so with all of that said, now once we have the list, once we're registered, once we're starting to grow that list, you can start sending text messages now. So let's look at that. That is once again another campaign. So we'll come up to the campaigns page. And once again, we will click create. And once you have SMS added in your account, you will see this in the campaign picker now, SMS. So we click on that. This is actually pretty quick to create. You'll see how this works here. So it's pulling up a new campaign for me to create. The first thing I'll do is give this campaign a name. Right now it's just untitled. So I'm going to edit that because I just want to name it something more specific. I'll call it Jack's Barbecue Promo. Add today's date. All right, so the first part of it is creating the message that I want to send. So I'll just click on this edit button here in order to do that. And just a few things to keep in mind with this. First of all, be concise. You only have 160 characters. It tells us the character limit right here. There's actually this opt-out message is required, and it is counting towards that limit there. So you really do have to be concise. You can add emojis, which I saw someone asked about that earlier. So yeah, definitely you can add emojis. It does take up more characters though. So something to keep in mind there. Another thing to keep in mind though, if you do go over the character limit, most phones will display multiple messages up to 1,950 characters just as one long message. So even if your message overflows into multiple texts, it'll probably show up as one long message on their phone, as long as it's not too crazy long. The SMS service is billed based on the number of SMS messages that you send every month. So that's just the one thing you want to keep in mind there. If your message has overflowed into 3, then every single person is getting 3, and that, counts towards the total there. And we do recommend keeping it to a single message or just as short as you can, because contacts are more likely to read it, to engage with it when it's to the point and has meaningful information. So let's go ahead and fill this out. So the sender name, Jack's Backyard Barbecue, I can't change that. Once again, that was set up during the registration process. But this is an example of how the sender name can be different from the legal tax business name. So when I set up the account, I put Constant Contact Inc. as the legal name, but I wanted the sender name to be Jack's Backyard Barbecue. So that's how I set it up. Now to create the message, you just type it in here. So I'm going to say our brisket promo ends today. We have this sense of urgency here. You don't want to miss this deal. More info. And then I can actually put in a link. So let me just type that in. I actually recommend adding links to your text messages because that's a way to keep it concise. Say the information you have to say, and then they can click on this link from the text and pull up the website on their phone and start reading more information about whatever the message is. So like I said, you can add emojis. That will be from this little thing here. So if I wanted to do a smiley face, you can see I added that. Now it does add more characters, like I said, and it actually is overflowed into 3 SMS messages. And it lets me know right here how many SMS messages I'm at. So like I said, it'll probably show up as one long message on their phone, but I need to keep in mind I'm sending out 3 per person with this. The other thing you can do is personalize it with their name. So if I wanted maybe at the very beginning to have their name, I would click personalize, first name, there we go. And it'll fill in with whatever their contact information name is in your contacts. Now, people's names have different character numbers. So depending on what their name is, that also counts towards the character limit. So, with the name, with the emoji and the text, I'm still at the 3 SMS messages. Personalization is effective. Emojis are great if that fits with the voice of your business and your brand. But in our case, I'm just going to keep it to 1. So I'll actually take that out and stick with just the text. Heather has a question, can you add an image? You cannot at this time. It is just the text, the links, and the little emojis. So now that we have the message, I'll click save. Yeah, Nina, when it splits into multiple SMS, you are charged for those individually. So they would count towards your billing number, which I'll show you how the billing works here in a minute. All right, once the message is created, I need to schedule it. So I'll just choose the list I want to send it to. It only shows the list that has SMS subscribers, which is helpful. And then you choose the day and time. There are quiet hours that you can't send during, which is 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time is when you can send, and anything outside of that, you cannot. I'm just going to leave what it chose by default. It usually will put an hour from now by default. I will save that. And then I just click schedule. And it lets me know that we'll send 1 SMS message to 6 recipients, 6 messages total. Now, if I had stayed with the content that made it 3, it would say we'll send 3 SMS messages to 6 recipients. And at that point, it would be 18 messages total that it's sending. So it does tell you, which is really helpful. Schedule that. And yeah, it's 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. Eastern time, Jill, is the allowed hours. It doesn't let you schedule it outside of that at all. So even if you try to, it'll tell you don't do that. Okay, and really that's it. I know this is the part we were all waiting for, and it really only takes a couple seconds. So really easy to do. You do get some reporting back after the fact. So that's the final thing I want to show you, which for that I'm going to play another video since we don't have any, people reading the text messages yet. So let me play that, and then we will circle back afterwards and get to your questions here.
If you've sent an SMS campaign, it's important that you take a look at the reporting and see how it's doing. In this short video, we'll show you where you can find your SMS reporting data. To begin, click Campaigns and then click Details next to the SMS campaign you want to view. On this page, you can see all of the details about your SMS campaign. You can see who it was sent from, the SMS message, who it was sent to, and its current status. Scrolling down a bit, you can view the performance data. You can see how many text messages were sent, the percentage of successful deliveries, and the click rate if you included a link in your text message. Use this data to create future SMS campaigns and get even better results. For example, monitor the unsubscribe rate of your SMS campaigns. If you see a trend of increasing unsubscribe rates, try segmenting your lists so you can send more tailored SMS messages. And that's how you can view your SMS campaign reporting with Constant Contact.
All right, well, let's go ahead and wrap up today. I want to skip ahead here to the pricing because I've seen a few questions on that already, actually. So here's how it works. It is an add-on to any Constant Contact package. So if you have the core plan or if you have the plus plan, either one is fine. This will be purchased as an add-on to either one of those plans. Adding text marketing to your package means that the pricing for the add-on is based on the number of messages you send, and it is in tiers. So, for example, if you have a list of 1,000 text contacts and you plan to send 2 messages to them a month, you're sending 2,000 messages a month. So in that case, you would go with the $45 tier because you're in the range of 1,001 to 2,500. Now, in that case, I would actually say, take it up as close to 2,500 as you can because that's the top number you can send for the $45. But that's kind of how it works there. We are actually running a promotion right now for the next 3 months. You can get 50% off. The promotion ends December 16th, so you need to sign up for SMS before that. And then the next 3 months will be 50% off. There's no promo code needed. It just will happen automatically when you sign up. You'll get that discount. So in order to sign up, I will have my colleague put a link in the chat window that'll just take you directly into your account. And that makes it really easy to add it onto your plan. You can do it all online. You don't have to call in or anything like that. You can just add it right on there and get started with everything. All right, so let's get to your questions. We have a lot of people here today, lots of questions coming in. I think my colleagues have answered a lot in chat, so that's good, but I'll see what other ones I can get to here in the last few minutes that we have together. Feel free to keep typing them in. While we're answering those questions for you, I did want to let you know about our upcoming webinar called Grow Your List, Grow Your Business. This is a webinar we have where we talk about list growth. So we touched on that a little bit today with the lead generation landing page. But if you want tips to grow your email list, we have other forms you can create. We have other best practices. So I'd recommend that. It's coming up on the 13th here at 1 p.m. Eastern time. And sign up. Even if you can't make it, you'll get a recording sent to you automatically. So I'd recommend that one if you're looking for any sort of list growth tips at all. Which who doesn't want more people on their list? The more the better. All right, let's look at the questions. Just scrolling through. Yeah, so Nancy asks, list segmenting was mentioned. That's possible. For instance, to have one list for golfers, another for tennis, and another for dining. Yeah, you can definitely have separate lists. For the lead generation landing page, you can only have them go into one list. So if you had those 3 categories, you could either have 3 forms, or you could have them fill out, you just have the one form, you have them fill it out, but you could add a custom field asking them what category they fall into. And then based on what they answer, you could go into your contacts page, search for that, and then save them all to a list. I know that's a little more manual work, but definitely you can separate people out into separate lists after the fact. It's just during the signups It's a little harder to segment, but you can definitely have as many different lists as you want here from the contacts page. Tracy has a really good question. We actually get this question a lot. What happens if someone wants to text back to the SMS message? So if they text back, they actually get, the message doesn't go anywhere. They get an automated message that sends back to them. And let me see if I can find the verbiage. Yeah, what it says is, sorry, we didn't understand that. Visit us at, and it fills in with the website. Reply help for help, stop to stop, message and data rates apply. So basically, if they text back, they just get this message that says, sorry, visit our website, call us, and we'll be able to help you further. Kim asked, is the text message a year contract, or is there any cancellation fee if you decide it's not working for your company? Yeah, it's just a month-to-month thing, no contract. So you can definitely try it out for a few months, see how it goes. And if it's not working, you can cancel. I will say with any marketing thing that you do, it's never going to be an overnight success. Give it at least 3 months, if not more, to really get the ball rolling, especially if you don't have a list yet. It's going to take some time to just build your list. And then from there, getting those campaigns going takes a little time to see results as well. And that's just, like I said, with any marketing thing, email marketing, social media, you have to give it time. But like I said, if you've given it some time, not working out, there's no penalty for canceling. Nancy asks, what is the suggested number of text messages to send each week or month? It really depends on your audience and the purpose for the text and the expectations you set up front. So if you were to tell people like, sign up to receive weekly tips, then you would send a text message once a week. I think you probably don't want to do more than once a week. You do want to at least do once a month. Every other week is kind of a good medium there, but definitely, of course, it depends on what the content is that you're sending. Julissa asks, does each user have the ability to use their own name in SMS? So the sender name, you can only have one per account. So no, it would have to be, you just decide kind of on the one name. If you need to have separate senders, it would require separate constant contact accounts. And Stephen, he asks, why can't you have only phone numbers? That's a really good question. I don't have a great answer. Really, it's just that's how the system is set up right now. That could change in the future, but it's a way to have two ways to market to someone. You might as well collect their email address if you're going to ask for their phone number. And it's just how our system has to store it in constant contact. Julissa, you can have each contact's individual name fill in automatically into the text message. I don't know, maybe that was your question instead. I'm looking at, I have, yeah, so we will be sending a follow-up email after this. So it has the recording, but it will also have the handout. It'll have the landing page link that we shared earlier. It'll have some more resources. So we will be following up with some links for sure. Deb, if you're just starting out, she asks, how do I know what level to choose? Probably the lowest one, unless you think you will send more than 500 messages in a month. And yes, I'm sorry, I am going over time a little bit. So if you need to hop off, not a problem. I just want to squeeze in a couple more questions. But check out our help center. Let me just pull this up real quick for those of you that need to go. If your question didn't get answered, if you think of a question later, go to our help center, constantcontact.com/help, or there's a help link in the top right of your account, and you can search our knowledge base, tutorials, webinars, our support team. You can call them. I'll have my colleague share some links as well in the chat, including our SMS informational page that has some good resources to review. So definitely any questions that didn't get answered, check out those resources. Yeah, Tracy, she says, can you personalize the response to someone that texts you back asking them to reach out to a specific number? So what happens is when you register for SMS, it asks you to fill in a phone number, and then that automated message they get back would have that, have your website at least filled in, and then they can type the word help and get that phone number sent to them automatically. Silva, sorry, I think I pronounced that wrong. She said, I have over 9,000 customers in my contacts. Does this monthly SMS fee cover sending to all my contacts? So if you have 9,000 customers in your contacts, the price for SMS is based on how many you send. So if you are going to send to all 9,000, then it would be the fee for that amount, which I'm going back to that slide. So you would probably be in this $120 range with the discount at $60 a month for 3 months. But if there's only a list of like 1,000 people you're planning on texting, then you would be more at this level here. But you can send to as many people as you want. Once you get above 150,000, that's kind of, once you hit $500, you can go as high as you want after that. Yeah, Heather, there is a base fee for the platform in addition to the cost per text. That would be the plan you sign up for the rest of the account, like the email marketing, the social media marketing you can do with Constant Contact. You would sign up for that first, and then this is an add-on on top of that. The special SMS offer, you do have to sign up before December 16th, but then once you do, it's the discount applies for 3 months. All right, well, I'm going to wrap it up. I know I've gone over. A couple of people are asking when the webinar is going to be over. It is over now. So thanks so much for joining us today. Check out all those resources. If we weren't able to get to your question, call support. They're happy to answer your questions as well. You can also chat them, do like the live chat. Otherwise, thanks for joining us and have a good rest of your day.